Hi, I am Halal. I'd like to sincerely welcome you all in today's discussion. Today, I have the topic on employee handbook. Employee handbook is very important for employee as well as for the organization. Please remind, employee handbook must to be in local language and it will be easy understandable for the employee. Employee handbook you have to update in every year by adding necessary information. Today I will try to brief discussion on employee handbook contents. So let's move to the next slide. How you arrange front page. What types of information you have to include in front page? Let's see. First, factory name and address. Then website information. Then a good picture of your factory. Then slogan or motto of the factory. If you have any good slogan or motto, you can provide this one also in front page. Then let's move to the next slide. Table of contents. What types of contents you have to include in employee handbook and how you arrange step by step. Let's see. First, welcome speech. Very important. You have to provide welcome speech which will be motivating for the employee. Then factory information, location of the factory, workforce of the factory, product types of the factory. These types of information you have to provide. Then company achievement. If you have any achievement record like certification, like reward, you can also provide this information in employee handbook. Then management structure. So management structure is very important for to know new employee. So this is very important to add management structure in employee handbook. Then appointment letter discussion. Appointment letter discussion is very important. Some of terms and condition from appointment letter may not be understandable for the employee, so that you can provide some discussion on appointment letter. Then employee classification. Employee classification is very important. What types of how many types of employee working in your organization? So types of class or types of employee like that, temporary, permanent, these types of seasonal, these types of classification you have to provide in employee handbook. Then workers grade information. So if your government provided grade, declare grade, and which is very important to maintain for your organization, this will be very important to include in worker or employee handbook. Then job description. Job description also very important. So per grade, the job description is maybe different, so you can provide job description information also in worker or employee handbook. Then salary and wages information. Per grade, what is the minimum wages, so you have to provide this information also clearly in employee handbook. Then overtime calculation. Overtime calculation is very important. Some of employee or workers may not be understand the calculation of overtime, so you have to provide clear method, clear explanation on overtime calculation. So then working hour policy. So working hour policy is very important. Every organization has maintained working hour policy, so you have to provide this policy also in employee handbook. Then health and safety policy is very important. So health and safety policy, what you maintain in your organization, this one also you have to include in employee handbook. Then leave information. How many types of leave your organization follow, you have to provide this information also in employee handbook, like sick leave, casual leave, annual leave, like that. Then service benefits. Before that you have to include holidays. Holidays is very important. Festival holiday you have declared in every year for your organization. This information also you have to provide in employee handbook. Then service benefits. Service benefits is very important to know the employee when and how he will get the service benefits, how long he has to be work in organization. These types of messages you have to clear in employee handbook. Then retrenchment. Retrenchment is very important. Sometimes organization may have to go for retracement. So you have to provide this information clearly in employee handbook. Then layoff also is very important for organization, for the employee. So sometimes organization may goes for the layoff. So layoff procedures and layoff requirement also you have to provide in employee handbook. Then PPE use, personal protective use, is very important. So you have, as an organization, you have to have a PPE policy. So you can provide this information also in employee handbook. Then maternity leave and benefits. So if you have women workers or women employee, so you have to have the clear policy regarding maternity leave and benefits. So in employee handbook you can provide some of important information for maternity leave and benefits. Let's move to the next slide. So here is some contents have to include in employee handbook. This is first is earn leave or annual leave. So this is legal requirement that all employee or workers have to be has to be know about earned leave and annual leave. So you have to clear explanation in a handbook that when and how employee will get the earned leave. Then special facilities. If your organization provided special facilities to the employee or workers beyond law, you have to provide this in message also clearly in employee handbook. Then increment and promotion. Increment is the legal rights for the employee and the worker. So increment message also you have to provide in employee handbook, and as well as promotion, how an employee will get promotion and what is the procedure. So you have to provide this message also clearly in employee handbook. Then complaint and grievance policy. So complaint and grievance policy is mandatory for any organization. So if you maintain a clear policy on complaint and grievance, so please provide this information also in employee handbook. Then disciplinary policy, very important. So and each and every employee or workers must to be know the rules and regulation for the organization, and violation of the organization. So you have to provide this message also clearly in employee handbook. Then termination policy. So termination policy is very bad. Actually termination is very bad for the employee and workers. So but organization have to go for the termination sometimes. So you have to add also termination policy clearly in employee handbook. Then freedom of association. Freedom of association is very important for the employee as well as the worker, that they have the rights and they are free to join in a workers association or employee associations freely. This message also you have to provide clearly in employee handbook. Then information of committees. So how many committees you have in your organization, the committee information also you have to provide in employee handbook. Then insurance facilities. Insurance facility is legal rights for the employee and the workers. So you have to provide insurance facility policy also in employee handbook. Then security and information policy. So security is very important for the employee and workers. So organization must maintain a security policy strongly. That's why this policy also you have to declare in employee handbook. Then finally conclusion speech. This speech must be influensive also for the worker and the employee. So thank you very much. I try myself to explain every content for your easy understanding. Bye bye. See you again.